If you give him confidence, you give him good words, he will be the best.
It's all about Scream and Shox because G2's have the luxury of having these guys peaking at the moment.
Okay, I'm not supposed to be a captain. Like, it's not in my personalities. I tried and it was a good experience. I can bring way more as a player than I can as a captain in a team.
I want someone to come and save Shoxy here. He definitely needs it.
Coming around the corner, someone's going to hit the shot, and they do. Response from Shox. Time is low. He's got a second. The models are burning, and Shox is sailing him alight. 4 kills for Shox.
It's on Shox in a 1-on-3. Tabs out one, and that's a deadly kill. Goes for the second, and he's moving closer, looking for the quad. Sheer FNX, the last man alive. He's going to tap the bomb once. Shox. Down to cold zero. It's all on Shox. He picks up one. Luminosity in overtime here, looking for the shot. Shox going to pick up one more. Triple for him. Oh, he gets the quad kill. Are you kidding me, Shox?
What a god!
Richard Shox Papillon lives and breathes Counter-Strike. Born in France in 1992, he discovered the game at 9 years old, and it gripped him.
L'appel du jeu était beaucoup trop fort et à partir du moment où j'ai mis un pied dessus, j'ai jamais lâché.
By his mid-teens, he was competing in France's domestic Counter-Strike scene, and, incredibly, convinced his parents to support his attempt to become a pro.
Et puis surtout, à l'époque, on pouvait pas vivre de CS, donc c'est vrai que c'était risqué. On a tout lâché après le BTS, voilà, j'avais le droit à un an, une année sabbatique, j'avais réussi à négocier avec ma mère pour me lancer à fond dedans.
In the years after Source's release, most of the competitive world eventually went back to the older 1.6, but Shox's native France did not, and it was building one of the strongest competitive scenes for Source in the world.
To start for the French CSS player, it was very tough because we weren't respected by other Counter-Strike players from the 1.6, and we wanted to earn their respect, you know, and to be successful.
In that environment, Shox showed off incredible aim, strong instincts, and the ability to clutch out lopsided situations, and he was starting to turn heads.
I was the first to say this guy is gonna be a fucking god of the game. So I think. I was not a type of guy who would give a lot of respect to a young player.
And that early success led to some pretty big opportunities, including the chance to play with the French scene's best IGLs like Existence and KRL, and even represent his country in international competition. He started to get a reputation, and his teams built around his abilities. But Shox was still young and an emotional player. He was clearly one of his region's brightest stars, but when he was 20 years old, he faced a new challenge. When CSGO was announced, the Source and 1.6 scenes were reunited in a new game, one where France's legacy of Source excellence was tested. Shox entered CSGO as part of Millennium, and both his squad and Very Games were seen as the French scene's biggest hopes.
Dans cette affiche de rêve entre les Very Games et les Millennium, peut-être les deux meilleures équipes de France en train de s'affronter dans cette demi-finale.
But it was Very Games who proved themselves as the region's best team, and with that, one of the best in the world.
Existence! Victoire des Very Games sur ce round et qui sont en grande finale! Vraiment, on s'y attendait pas. Vraiment, félicitations aux joueurs de l'équipe Very Games.
While Ninjas in Pajamas dominated this early stage of CSGO, they were routinely pushed to the limit by Very Games. But Shox struggled to find a home. He bounced from Imaginary Gaming to TCM Gaming, and even tried an international mixed team that included one Ladoslav Guardian Kovac. Even when his teams did poorly, Shox was able to show his individual skills were still sharp.
Get himself a kill on Dreamy, and Lox replies back. We're at 2 versus 2. Double great G grenade into the bomb site. Disposes of 2 Epsilon players. Shoxy picks them both up.
All the while, he watched Very Games from afar. He knew that eventually, their inability to defeat NIP might provoke change. Eventually, Shox got the call from Very Games, and he replaced a young, up-and-coming talent by the name of Kenny S. It wasn't the first time that Shox had played under the Very Games banner. During Source back in 2011, he had been removed from the roster due to internal issues. But the team's early performance showed that drama had been left behind. They got into shape fast, defeating Virtus Pro at ESL One Summer 2013, about a month after Shox joined the team.
Gotta land the shots and gotta do it quickly here. 30 seconds remaining. Shox shows him his head. That's cheeky. The two men who have played together and don't play together anymore. MBK with the final kill. GG. And it's VG all the way. Very Games are your very cool EMS1 champions.
Shox himself earned MVP at StarLadder Star Series 7 for an incredible performance and a 1.61 KD ratio. And when the team needed it, Shox was there.
Right now, he's taken down one. Can he find Shox? 1v1 right now. He needs the hat trick to keep his team in this. Shox steps away, not gonna happen. Shox takes his team into the finals, and he's taken them to the absolute top of this league. That was absolutely incredible stuff from Very Games. They are the winners of the Raid Call EMS1 2013 Fall Finals.
The surge came at the right time, with DreamHack Winter 2013, the first CSGO major, a month away. And though they came fourth, losing to NIP again, it looked like maybe French CS had established itself in Go.
Can't see him, looks for the Frenchman. Has a guess, is going to try and bait him out with the defuse and pushes around the corner. Oh, Smith gets it! The romance is over. The French have gone through. They will face NIP tomorrow.
HLTV named Shox the third best player of 2013, citing impressive personal stats and team impact. As the roster moved to the Titan organization, they posted more important victories, but also a disappointing group stage exit at the next major in Katowice.
Coming up huge, picking up the kill. Shakuchi get another one. Smith, the last man standing in a 1-on-3 as Doze is sitting inside a pit, and Titans have fallen. The Titans are getting knocked out of Group A and are not advancing on. We are going to see Virtus Pro and Hellraisers advance out of Group A. Who the hell would have thought Titans wouldn't have been here?
Shox said he was unhappy with the difficulties that living in a team house put on his relationship, and he left Titan. After a short stint with Epsilon Esports, where Shox attended his third consecutive major, the first French shuffle began. The scene had contended with the world's best at the beginning of CSGO, but it was running out of steam, and the results at ESL One Cologne proved it.
And it'll be Exist and Get Right at Freiburg, and they're only one frag away from the final. It's Kaylee versus NIP. Can he deliver? No! Ninjas in pajamas charge into the grand final.
The obvious answer was to try some new player combinations while maintaining the region's close-knit relationships. So Shox, along with Happy, NBK, Kiyoshima, and Smiths, formed LDLC's new roster in September of 2014. Fans waited to see whether they could be better than the new Titan or Epsilon lineups, and whether any of them could become the world's best. They wouldn't have to wait long. DreamHack Winter 2014, the next major, was only a few months away, and in the lead-up, LDLC looked hot.
But slowly but surely, Na'Vi seems to be gaining some ground, but Kiyoshima with 2 huge kills, and LDLC on the brink of winning Star Series 11 against Na'Vi. It's just Guardian that stands between them and victory, and he will go down 16-6 on the final map, and it's going to be a victory for LDLC. They're going to go home with $13,000.
But with the other 2 best French squads sidelined by VAC bans, it was on Shox and LDLC to bring home France's first CSGO major.
Given the round loss bonus, but it's not cool. I think that's the right choice. Close range here. Shox is going to pick up the first kill. They almost line it up. He's got the AWP out again. He's just hiding in the smoke. How is this man still alive? And he's going to try the scope. He lives through the round. You've got to be kidding me. Now it's down to a nice 1-on-5. Shox should not be living right now.
Miss, and Kiyoshima opening up. Great double kill from us in hand. It's a triple. He goes for more. Kiyoshima with 4 kills to clean up the incoming C-set push. So good at it. Follow up from Happy. He goes for it again. He wants a second kill. He gets it as well. Stunning shot from Happy there in an incredible fashion in overtime on the last map against NIP. This is all on Get Right. Might be the perfect man to have left here. Trying to walk in. Pacing himself, he's going to spot MBK first, he goes down, and LDLC, they pick it up. Look at that, they can hardly believe it. They're hugging each other, and it must be an unreal sensation.
It was France's first CSGO major, and it came with a hard-fought overtime win over the perennial terrors, Ninjas in Pajamas. As Shox hoisted the trophy, it seemed as if France had finally found the magic combination that could hold down the world's top spot. And as the roster joined a new org, Team Envious, they kept on winning. A top 4 placement at ESL 1 Katowice was disappointing only because the team failed to defend their major title, but they won several big events around that time. Shox began to experiment with in-game leading, playing his way, mostly by feel instead of micromanaging his team. But their dominance waned, and the French scene once again began a major shuffle. The first one gave Shox a major, but this time, Kenny S's envious roster reaped the benefits.
4 players remain here for Na'Vi, and they're going to be pressing onto this site, and it's an ideal situation for them, but MBK removes Zeus, and it's not looking good.
Oh, and a second headshot there. Flamey gonna be gone. Hiroshima, and there it is. Executive down. Envy winning the last major of 2015 and the second title in a row here for 3 of these players. The first for Penny and Apex. What a victory.
Shox rejoined Titan, and they weren't a bad team, but they failed to break into the finals at big events. By early 2016, racked by the financial fallout of their former player Cali's VAC ban, the organization folded, and G2 esports stepped into the void they left behind. But rather than simply play as the team's superstar, Shox wanted to continue to IGL. Over the previous 9 years, he had spent time under great French in-game leaders like Existence and Happy, and had learned early in his career from KRL. And maybe even before Existence left the team, there were signs that Shox wanted to be the player his teammates could rely on.
Attention à ça, juste soyez directement dans la game, go crier, go s'enflammer, ok, comme hier, la même rage, et les gars, s'il y a un pote qui se tape, tout de suite on va l'aider, ok, faut que ça soit énergétique. Il y a un mouvement sur une zone, tout de suite on fait un truc, on va aider un pote, ça flash, ça smoke, ça si, ça, ok, ça bouge, il y a de la vie, on joue à CS, on joue ensemble, on joue en teamplay, s'il y a un pote qui se tape, on va l'aider, et nique sa mère. Si le mec en face il fait 3 kills, il fait une action vidéo, il ferait une action vidéo, on s'en bat les couilles. Mais c'est comme à la guerre, ok, on est entre nous, on est dans la même merde, on est les 5 doigts d'une main, et il faut qu'on le ressente in game, ok les gars?
And for those watching his career since the beginning, it was a familiar sight.
I think Shox like me as an in-game leader because I always try to give him a lot of love and confidence, you know? I always, before the game, I look at him in his eyes and say, Shox, you're the best, man. Yes, there is no one better than you here. So let's fuck them, man. Let's fuck them together, okay? If you give him confidence, you give him good words, he will be the best.
This 2016 version of G2 was a scrappy and surprising roster. A well-established synergy between Shox and Scream let them steal away rounds that seemed lost.
He tries to go hunting once more. Shox, he might get caught in the open here. No, they look the wrong way. Apex expects to wrap. They've been stacking that long so much, and Shox is sprayed down 3! He's got 4! The round goes to G2!
Now Shox flashed, he has to back off the angle. Smith too. It's allowed Cloud9 out, but well, to their own death so far. Screams, force Shroud off. Shox a little pinned in here, but allowed to operate, and that's worrying. Cloud9 have to deal with him, and now they turn around, and it's too late. Shox, the absolute railgun, comes in again with the meat in this real battle here, as Scream as well finds 2, and now Nothing's a little late to the party and about to be pushed.
Creeping his way back in, it's Scream that punishes it. 2 gamers is back indeed. Scream and Shox, the only ones that are chiming in there.
Take these duels, and it's just Luminosity systematically shutting them down.
Triple kill for Fallen, who has been carrying his team. He is the captain here, and he has been top fragging for a very long time here on Dust 2. It's on Shox in a 1-on-3 to try and keep it alive, otherwise we'll go to a 5th map in the grand finals. Shox tabs out 1, and that's a deadly kill. Goes for the 2nd, and he's moving closer, looking for the quad clutch here. FNX, the last man alive, he's going to tap the bomb once. Shox. You've got to be kidding, he takes the quad kill!
They didn't place well at the majors in Columbus or Cologne, but they made some finals appearances elsewhere and even won the inaugural ECS finals to the tune of $250,000.
It's going to be so hard. This setup is so strong. The defense seems immovable at the moment. Luminosity must break it with just 2 Tech 9s, and they're forced to go in, and they are being slaughtered. It is just Taco now, 19 health with that Tech 9, and there's too much to do. And 2 little to do with 16-5. G2 are your ECS Season 1 champions.
Still, the second half of the year showed that regardless of Shox's view on leadership, the team needed more firepower. A group stage exit at the major in Atlanta was the last straw.
15 rounds for the Danish team, 1 more kill, and it's going to be 16. They'll move on here in the group stage. They're not through yet, and that's it. Config with the final kill, 16-9, as they knock G2 out of this major tournament. Semler, I cannot wait for this French shuffle. I want someone to come and save Shoxy here. He definitely needs it.
Throughout his career, Shox has played with almost every great player in the French scene. But there was one notable exception, and when the 3rd French shuffle began, the inevitable became reality. Shox and Kenny S were now teammates. On paper at least, this was a true French super team, and the fact that the fabled Kenny-Shox combination would finally see the stage was even more exciting. But the field in CS was more competitive than it had ever been. The Danish scene, which had experienced shuffles of their own, had a serious dream team in Astralis and other contenders like North, and there were plenty of other top-tier organizations too. The team got off to a great start. Victories at DreamHack Open Tours 2017, the ESL Pro League Season 5 Finals, and DreamHack Masters Malmo 2017 showed the team's potential as a top squad. But the wins were outnumbered by disappointing tournament exits.
But in the end, what lacked throughout the year was, consistency. Whether it is for attitude, work ethic, or just purely in-game to do things when they were working the exact same way, tournament after tournament.
While Shox had still attended every major to date, he was beginning to get very used to only playing the group stage. Then, in early 2018, he made it to the quarterfinals of the Boston Major, only to be defeated by the eventual winners, Cloud9.
He almost went down himself. There's Body picking it up, and now it's a 1 versus 1. Stewie versus Kenny. The smell of gunfire and freedom in the air, and Stewie picking up that kill. And Cloud9 are in the semi-finals. Oh my God, what a story. They shut down G2 almost flawlessly.
Still, Shox was statistically G2's best player in both phases of the tournament, but G2 weren't winning, and tensions in the team were becoming apparent.
We had a lot of big personalities into the team, which means a lot of people need space in the game.
And so now I want to put the team in a position where, as a group, we're going to have the same goal, same motivation, same view of the game, and then just fucking go for it. Like it is time to just stop thinking about extra things that don't really matter, because we're not at the level where we're winning right now. So
Shox admitted that he had tried to remove NBK in Apex, and when that didn't work and NBK became the new IGL, Shox decided not to play with the roster.
By replacing them, I wanted Existence as a team captain, and Smith coming back as a player, as a main rifle, and not an fucking AVP. He will definitely let that to Kenny.
The team didn't really want to make changes, right? And so he decided himself that he didn't want to, try it with me as an incubator, and so that's why he's not a part of the roster.
In addition to riding the bench, he needed surgery for a wrist injury. NBK had the reins for the time being, and Shox had to watch and wait.
But still, like if I will have to get a surgery about my leg, about my ass or whatever, like I won't give a fuck. But since it's my wrist, and if you just take away my wrist, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
And Shox was also doubting his decision to be a leader.
Okay, I'm not supposed to be a captain. Like it's not in my personalities, like I'm someone who is really shy in the real world, I would say, and who don't often I don't like to push people.
NBK had his chance as IGL, but the organization brought Shox back to the lineup in June, adding Existence as the new leader. But the new lineup didn't work out. Further changes, bringing in young guns like Lucky and Jax, didn't make things any better either. After nearly 4 years, Shox was out of the team in September of 2019. Fans could be excused for feeling that the French CSGO scene had tried 8,000 different combinations of the same players and created an even higher percentage of bad memories. But this time, instead of flipping the board over, they found new pieces. New, young talent was on the rise, and it was sorely needed.
I think the problem we had the last year is we don't give a lot of trust to the young player. It's very hard to say, okay, we're gonna take Mizuta, he's 17, and we're gonna play big events, major and things. It's hard to. He did a lot of LAN in France. I play with him on LAN. He's a little monster. He's a little Shox. But you never know. He's gonna be Shox. He's gonna be a player like Shox. He's gonna be like someone who is just good or not good enough, or just. So it's really hard to trust young players, and I think that was the main problem in France last year. We were always, like you said, like we had 12, 15 players who we mix each other, and we don't have a lot of good leaders.
So when Shox joined Team Vitality, there was some understandable excitement. France's greatest rifler was teaming up with Zywoo, an op talent who might very well represent the future of French CS. But Shox was already 27. He had played over 5 years of Source before Go was even released. The question was, what could fans expect?
Only Woxic has a defuse kit. There's just no way. Surely there's no way. Just down to Woxic now. He's the only man standing. Vitality have done it. They've broken the streak and they've taken Moscow and the Epicenter Championship 2019.
We've seen flashes of the young Shox.
But there are 3 players coming around the corner. Someone's going to hit the shot. They do. Response from Shox. Time is low. He's got a second. The models are burning. And Shox is setting him alight. 4 kills for Shox.
Oh, holy shit. He might just do it. This is so possible. Oh my god. He has to run right now. He's going to be in there with a knife. I don't think anyone's heard it. He's on the bomb. He's got it.
Oh my god, he's done it! Right into the overtime, and this is how it starts. What a next level play!
And he recently overtook Xyp9x as the player with the most secured clutches in CSGO. Apex is now leading the team, and young French talent Masuda has joined the roster. Vitality has risen to be a top 10 team in the HLTV rankings, albeit at a time of uncertainty and predominantly online play. But regardless of circumstance, French CS is back. Shox is once again positioned as a key part of France's greatest hope. And maybe now, without the burden of leadership, he can get back to fragging out.
But Shox is patient at the moment. Poison. Oh my god, he runs through his own Molotov, making the kill even easier. A fadeaway frag, and one back the other way. He's just gonna be looking to play this post plant. He needs headshots, and he's got them!
He does it!
Shoxy, keeping Vitality in this.
Shox has been to every CSGO major and won one for himself and for France. His career is one that has inspired gasps.
Kerrigan instead with the double, and now Shox. It's all on him. He tries, he cancels it out. A beautiful spray. He needs one more kill and he gets it.
Cheers.
Down to Cold Zero. It's all on Shox. He picks up one. Luminosity in overtime. Here looking for the shot. Shox gonna pick up one more. Triple for him. Oh, he gets the quad kill. Are you kidding me, Shoxy?
And heartbreak.
Now Shox and RPK again will be asked the same question.
Flusher rounding the corner now. He's got an opportunity. And even without armor, we can see Dennis moves in. He finds the final kill and a full save. But
that is the look that you can only summarize that round with.
Closing in on 30, it would be easy to assume that his greatest achievements now lie in the past. But it's always been a bad bet to doubt Shox when the odds are against him.
Thanks for watching. If you want more content like this, hit the sub button and ring that notification bell. For unique bite-sized videos you won't find anywhere else, hit up our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook pages.